Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the fifth and last race of the Bavarian Racing Challenge 1955 edition. For this fifth race, we are going to run on the Südschleife. But before going to talk about the circuit, today we have the cabin of people here quite full. We have at least here 5 people. With me, Norma Voxel, we have Martin, Roland, we have also Lord Red and Packbat.
Hello everyone, Roland here.
Greetings.
Anything else? Anyone else wants to say hello to our people?
Hi, it's
No one.
Backbat.
Okay.
Hello, this is Lord Red.
Good. So, as we said, this is the fifth and last race of the 1955 edition, and we're going to talk about this little sister of the Nordschleife circuit with the person who chose the circuit themselves. Martin, aka Der Bayer, would you like to talk about this peculiar circuit?
Yes, this circuit was a part of the Nürburgring complex in the early years. Last season we were running on the Nordschleife, which was quite a long track, and you couldn't really see what was going on because of the limited resolution we got for displaying the track. So I wanted to keep the basic characteristics of the track, but I wanted to have a shorter track. And so we are now running on the Südschleife, which is basically a similar track, but only a third of the length of the Nordschleife. It's going downhill at the beginning through a few mostly quite fast corners, and then after the Mühlenbach corner it's going uphill pretty steeply, so that's where the engine power will matter a lot. In the start and finish area in the upper right of the screen, we have long straights which should give some overtaking possibilities in front of the first corner and in front of the very last 3 corners. So I'm very excited to see how this will work out. Basically you need a car here which has good engine power, good handling. Basically everything has to be good, so we will see what comes out here.
Very interesting choice then. I'm very excited about the race then. But I think we should take a look at the qualifying results then.
Yeah, let's see who was the right all-arounder for this track.
So,
Wow,
that's an interesting result here.
I have to say yes, totally.
So, on the first place we have Conan with a 3 minute 15 seconds 44. Second place is Kirop, 3 minutes 15:79.
Third place we have Leon with 3 minutes 15 seconds and 92. Very close. We have in fourth position Strop in 3 minutes and 60 seconds dead.
Following up, we've got Der Bayer, the track in 3 minutes 16 seconds, followed by Taekwondo, who did it in 3 minutes 16 seconds and just a few pinches more.
And only 2/100ths of a second behind Taekwondo is Matt MR2, 3 minutes 16:23, and followed by Trackpad User, 3 minutes 16:46.
Ninth place we have Absurdist with 3 minutes 16:63, and close to him 10th position from Jan Jeft, 3 minutes 16:85, in the same exact time that you have also Chipskate in 11th position.
And that was the top 11 of the qualifying results. I suggest taking a look at the top... I think we should take a look at the top trumps of these. And then we'll make the other look after this.
There is some newcomers? Or no, I don't think so.
I don't think we have newcomers. We have... I saw these cars at some point. Interestingly, we don't have any crossplane V8.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. We don't have a crossplane V8 this time. Or an i6.
What was quite common, or because I don't think a lot of people choose for the crossplane, because flat plane have better exhaust performance. So
And it's a bit lighter.
Yeah.
Interesting weight differences. Lowest weight has around, let's see, 528. Highest weight is 771.
Yes.
Oh,
we
the
have-
highest power, of course. So
Yeah,
in the high
pa-
speed sections, my car should be pretty good, and Met MR2 is basically the benchmark for the more cornery
Yeah.
and
yeah,
windy.
pretty much. 129G on the low speed and 112G on the higher speed. So the lower speed corner will rock him. So I suggest
It looks like it looks like Taekwondo's the only one. No, I'm sorry. Taekwondo and Strop were the only two who decided to go with smaller tires than anyone
Yes.
else. 165s.
that's true. They were both going for smaller tires overall.
Because I can easily see that they have used 11-inch rims for better braking performance.
That's also true. The 11-inch rims help a lot with braking performance. I think the braking issue will be gone with 1965 to a
Probably.
certain point because
Disc brakes.
to disc brakes, exactly. But only one piston solid.
Oh, we have to check also if the power increase and the weight also increase. Probably not. It's not going to be so easy to have braking. Probably the biggest issues of braking performance will be gone. But maybe a little bit of balancing and careful thought about the engineering of the car could also play well in braking.
True. Also, a lot about reliability here overall.
Yeah, we have from 38 of Kilrob to the lowest point is, as usual, Matarama 2 with his lucky engine with only 18.3 reliability.
But we all know that this engine won't ever blow up, and so yours will blow up
You
all the
were
time.
quite lucky
Yeah.
during this season, yes.
I
Obviously.
start to think there is some kind of, probably we have swapped the engine and nobody told me about this.
Probably. That's like the Norman Vauxhall kill switch.
Yeah. Okay, so curious things that we have Matt MR2 that is in this very moment as the first with a huge
Yes.
gap in points. We see him as 7th, so he could
Sorry.
maybe have
Yes.
some.
So
It could be. It could. I mean,
it could be
he
very
could be
interesting.
sure to be. Yeah, because he could be sure to be first, or he have to fight. What do you say about this, Pakvat? Because I know you take care about provisions of.
Yeah, I was very interested in looking at the points totals because with the two drops, this is kind of the strangest point in the season where you can kind of predict what are the possibilities and what exactly it would take for an unexpected result. And really, what it would take for an unexpected result is Matt MR2's luck running out. At this point, his lead is so huge. If he were to finish an average of 5th place, then he would win the competition. It would be impossible for anybody else to score enough points to beat him. And if he is to finish an average of 7th place, that's the position he qualified at, that would guarantee him a podium finish. And I say guarantee him a podium finish. If you look at Kilrob, who qualified 2nd, if Kilrob won both heats, 1st place in both heats, he would only have 263 points. If Matt MR2 finishes 7th in both heats, he has 261. So that is how big a lead Matt MR2 has in this race.
I see.
But you can see that he only had 2 good races and was pretty bad in 2 of the other races.
True.
And with his basically very dangerous engine he has in there, he should not feel too safe.
True.
Yeah. The obviously Conan qualified in 1st place, and he's in a pretty strong position in the point standings. I don't know if he'd be able to. I don't know how he's going to finish relative to Kilrob, but he's my. I would say Matt MR2, Kilrob, and Conan are my favorites for overall top 3.
Okay. So you don't give Merat any chance, just because I know that he's
Merat
looking at
has a chance. If Merat
Okay.
performs unexpectedly well, let me look very quickly to see where he qualified. Merat qualified 14th, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't take
that
a
will
look.
leave him far down.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
going to be hard for him.
So,
yeah, I
If
understand.
there's some drops above him, if he performs unexpectedly well, like let's see, how has he been performing he's performing pretty well in the reverse starts. So if he kept that up, if he had a surprisingly good result in a reverse start, and if some of the other people had trouble, it's possible that he could get a top 3 place. It's possible. Honestly, I would say that Strop, Tykendero, and Der Bayer, the 3 of you are more likely to score a coup here and knock out one of the favorites for a top 3 position.
Okay, thanks for this insight of the provisions for the end of the race. And there is anything else, or do you think they are already pushing the cars on the
I
line?
already see pushing them the cars on the track.
Okay.
They are already refueled, and every driver is already sitting in it and just flooring the throttle all the time, revving the
Very good.
engines.
So, thinks the race is going to start very
So I
soon.
think I think the race is starting right now, and it's starting.
Red lights, and they are
Go.
off. Green lights, green lights,
Green lights, and they are rolling now. So this
Okay.
is the Südschleife.
Ooh, someone is. What happened? I saw people. No, there is no one stopped. Okay,
Everyone
is
is
started.
is
Okay.
moving at
Kilrob
his
has dropped to 8th, 9th place, and I 7th already.
Yes, Kilrob is already far behind.
Yeah, Kiro is 7th. Metamar2 is already in 2nd position and seems that he's pointing at
And he
Strop.
is catching. He is catching
Yeah,
up.
Totally catching up. Conan
Goodness,
is
so far, no one's hit each other.
The first section of the track is with many corners, so that's where Matt MR2 is pretty.
Crash.
Maybe he was
Crash.
good off the line.
I think that might be Merat's chances destroyed there. It looks like he took some bad damage in that collision with Nolan Voxel.
Mm-hmm.
See where's
Another
he?
crash.
And we have Cobalt Gold.
Ooh. It not met bad damage in either vehicle. Ashley Black took a bit of damage. See, Merat's down in 15th place. I think he's going to have a struggle to gain any positions at this point. Oh,
Yes.
Strop and Matt MR2 have passed Conan.
Yes.
Yes, they have.
And
So it's now on
Metamar's
this-
going to overtake. Overtake.
And he overtakes Drop.
First-
Drop is and
And
Conan is
What
first.
happened?
Conan is first.
Damn it.
And Metamatu dropped.
Yeah, the by also in the straight. We think, wow,
Yeah, on
this is
Matt
interesting.
MR2 is the lightest car.
Also,
has
we
the
have
most
a
power.
standing car.
We're standing
Oh,
car.
no,
We have a standing
that's
car.
my car. That's
Ooh.
my car.
Oh! It's smoke coming out. There's actually smoke coming out of this car.
Yep. If we want to check with your people what's going wrong, feel free to.
I'll
go in the
send a
pits and
runner
ask.
down to the pits, and we'll have to find out what was happening there.
So,
The good news
Metamar
is this-
2.
There's
Sorry.
plenty of time for them to pick up the oil before the rest of the cars get back there.
And they
Absolutely.
can get the car into the pits because it's standing right behind the pit lane, and we'll get them ready for the second race.
Could you
Thankfully.
second lap? Because we have Metamar 2 fall in 4th position.
Yes.
Thereby in 3rd, Conan in 2nd, and Strop again in 1st position.
Yes, Drop claimed again. That will be an interesting battle. Will Matt MR2 be able to get up again? Or will he fall even more?
I think Matt MR2 and Conan have higher top speeds down that straight compared to Strop.
Yeah, but Met MR2, I don't think he had very high top speed because he was overtaken by Conan almost immediately. Not immediately, but in the middle of the straight. So let's take a look now.
Met
See how
MR2 has
close
very
Met
low engine
is
power.
overtaking now. Their buyer also is overtaking, and Met MR2 is losing. Is losing gap here. So Met MR2 doesn't have a higher top speed. So interesting thing.
That's
Conan
a very
first again.
very interesting battle in the corners between Conan, Derbyre, and
Yes.
Strop.
And
Yeah,
now
it seems like
Strop dropped to third.
Strop has the advantage on the downhill portion, and Conan and Derbyre are
Another small
Astro.
crash, but nothing.
There's tiny
Sure.
crash. Nothing too serious though.
Killrob is still stuck behind
Yes, and
Taekwondo.
he's still sixth. Will Kidrop be able to get far enough up again?
Merat down to 18th position.
And with as much a lead as he has, all he has to do is just keep it on the black, and I think there's literally no pressure from behind here.
I can also see that he has the best first, second, and third sector, also the fastest, obviously, the fastest lap.
Yeah, but not the top speed. The top speed is still
The top
from
speed
Der
was
Bayer.
held by Der Bayer, but now the car of Der Bayer doesn't seem able to reach the top speed at all.
Well, it reaches the top speed in the pits maybe now.
Yeah.
The driver said that in the beginning of the lap he made an error where he lost some places, and he apparently made a shifting error and was in the ref limiter maybe a bit for too long.
Ouch.
Ouch.
That is hurting.
Yeah.
Well, seems the gap from Conan and Strop still widening
It's
every lap.
widening and
Yeah.
widening and widening. But
Yes.
the question more interestingly is Meta Emma to be able to get to second place? He is close to Strop, not too far away. He should have a chance to get there.
Do the
A
performance of the
second
first...
place finish in the first heat would be a guaranteed podium for Matt MR2 with 40 points.
Pretty much, yes, that's true.
Mathematical guarantee.
Kirov has overtaken Taekwondo is in this now behind Matt MR2.
True.
I said before that Kirov was one of my favorites for the top 3, and I think this is making me sound intelligent. Thank you very much, Kirov, for.
And if you take a look after trackpad user, we have Genjeft, Leo, and Absurdus. They're all very tightly packed with each other. It's going to be a good fight for 5th place, I think. 6th place.
7th, yeah.
Proof that us Americans cannot count.
Crash between Double and Merati again.
There were-
Merchant
Barrett
cars.
has been having the worst luck this race.
Yeah.
True, but actually I've noticed there were like almost no crashes this race, like just a few ones.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same thing. Remember which race was that we said, "Ooh, nothing happening," and the second,
And the second still
the
was
second
like
race was a fucking
crash,
destruction
crash.
derby. Yeah, we will see.
I think maybe the very fast first section helped spread the cars out a bit, and
Yeah.
that affected things.
There are no really slow corners until after the first half of the track and then in the very end. So until then, the field is pretty much spread out a little bit.
Crash chances are low.
true. Driving aerobatic Hirop,
It's
Only a
going to
small
cost
one.
him
but he is
slow recovery.
still quite far away from Tiger. Oh, no, he isn't. He's close to him.
He's closing the gap. At least on the last lap, he gained 0.2 of second on Metamar 2. I don't know if he's going to have enough. No, he definitely not going to have enough time to recover and gain the 3rd place. We are at the 25th minute of the race, and we have 30 minutes. So in 5 minutes, you have to recover like 1.2 seconds. No, I think it's going to be too much difficult.
I think there might be 2 laps. It depends, but still.
Then we have another crash between Pleb and Ashley Black.
Ooh, that's the second collision Ashley Black's been in, I think.
Yes,
Well,
we
but
we have
And now another crash. We were talking
Ooh.
about crashes before, now they are crashing.
That was
That's
big.
a rough one.
We have 2 laps to go, and Kirop is 8/10 of a second behind Matt MR2. And if he gets close enough in the last lap on the long straight, then he will have more
you can.
power to overtake.
There are chances. And looking at the lap of Conan, he's definitely the best car in this track. It's still having 1 second of gain every lap, so it's the car.
So, it's an open question how well he can get up through the field in the reverse
True.
start, but he's not losing speed as quickly as he's not losing speed very quickly, and so
And also the big straights could help him a lot.
So we have a question to the audience, to Martin. Does weight or more weight decrease or increase the damage of a collision? Or from a collision?
Weight is not the factor in there, but I think I took the average reliability, or basically durability. It's not the average, but the part of reliability which belongs to the car and not to the engine. This was how severe basically the damage is. But
It's a bit over square. Has
I see forged heads for the extra compression.
true. That's the way to go. And 10.8 compression. That's quite a
High.
lot.
Mhm.
It's 79 cam profile. That's, I think, around
Good.
what you would do.
Yeah.
Of course, no turbo.
Why?
I don't know. And twin 4-barrel performance carbs.
Surprisingly lean mixture.
Indeed.
Hmm.
14.7.
Well, it not surprised me because for me it's not an option to go with full rich mixture because
Mhm.
it's quite a long race and I don't want to have any additional weight.
True. The
I
additional
prefer to have
weight.
a little bit heavier engine because at the end I can have a little bit more power instead of squeezing out the maximum output from a smaller engine.
True.
Reaching the mixture.
Because the additional weight of the fuel is actually something you have to calculate in, so that can influence the performance of the car quite badly.
Mm.
Exhaust
Yeah.
tab, I think that's an interesting thing, is maybe someone of you has used race tubulars instead of long tubulars?
Don't know. I don't remember anymore because it was like a
Well,
lifetime ago.
I think most people use long tubular single exhaust because that's the lightest of the tubular exhausts.
Mm-hmm.
There is some advantage to race tubular, but
But you wouldn't use buffled mufflers.
no, I wouldn't. But apparently he made it work.
Well,
It was a
depends because
stealthy vehicle.
maybe it helps to cope with the correct amount of power. Because if the exhaust diameter it's give you an optimal power with a little bit higher power, you could choke a little bit with the mufflers. So maybe he tested it and find out the muffler with the buffled
The buffled muffler.
muffler is the
Yeah.
buffer.
You know it's a Scheiße-Schalldämpfer. So, model. What body panels has he used? Suspension. That's quite obvious.
Very thin handmade aluminum.
I wasn't expected the galvanized steel.
I didn't too. I would expect normal steel.
Me too.
That's an interesting.
Super lighter, so
It's the same weight, I think.
now I guess because she needs a little bit heavier and reliable car to push out other cars
Oh no, actually.
like you did.
Oh yes, steel is 5 kilos heavier, lighter than the galvanized.
Yeah, because the galvanizing, if it is hot dip galvanized, thin, not very thin, but a layer of
True. Right, yeah,
zinc will
that's true.
cover all the all the steel, so it will gain a little bit of weight.
Double wishbone. Who hasn't
Of
used
course.
this? If someone has used solid axle, I will punch him with a solid axle.
Maybe, solid axle, pushrod engines reminds me something, but don't remember which part of the planet they used to have that combination.
So that was Conan's car. Let's take
Yeah.
a look now at Kilrop Engineering. The Sprite, not the Fanta, not the cola, the Sprite.
No, the 7-Up.
In a horrendous color.
It looks a little bit worried. Or disgusted, probably.
Again, very thin body panels.
Yes, minus 15 quality body. That's the way to go.
But steel.
And yeah, actually steel panels
Steel panel, too.
with quality on them.
Well, we have to say that his car was heavier than the others because it was like 726 kilos or something like that.
Yep. It had more
compared
power.
to-
But
yeah.
yeah.
144.
So we have one quality on fixtures. Now this is interesting.
Yeah.
I think you get it doesn't cost very much, and you get a significant amount of reliability out of adding quality to the
Mhm.
fixtures relative to adding quality elsewhere.
You also get just a tiny bit of aerodynamic improvement.
True. This can make a difference. But let's take a look at the engine.
Way!
And
Overhead
this is
cam.
yes, no double overhead cam,
Single
just a
overhead cam.
full valve overhead cam. Price issues maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a little bit lighter, if I recall correctly.
True.
Yeah.
I might have, we might have looked at this car when Ginjaft and I were doing reviews. So you might be able to go back and look at that and see in the contemporary build. Yes, I know we looked at this car because I remember that it was very ever so slightly knocking.
Yes.
So
I
we
believe
have a
Kill
knocking
Rob
car,
likes to have a detonator.
obviously. Also, it seems to have a low cam profile because it tops out at 5,300. That's unusual. Again, cast interiors. And severe valve float to his engine.
Severe.
Severe valve float.
It's the single overhead cams, just they can't rev as high. It's a trade-off.
It's knocking.
It's barely knocking. If you
Yeah,
notice,
but reminds me.
drop the compression ratio one tick for a moment and look at the
Yeah, I know.
reliability.
Well, we could lower the ignition timings.
Yeah, you see the reliability doesn't change at all.
I know.
It is technically knocking, but the effect is so small that it really makes almost no effect.
It's a very, very tiny knock. Like, and now it's gone.
Oh, touch anything and it's gone.
I have broken the engine, for fuck's sake.
It should be 13.8 and a 50.
Okay, now it's okay again. Something was kaput.
However, not very aggressive cam profile
Yeah, 33, that's like...
because it's a big engine, and now I understand why it's choosing a single overhead cam, because you're not pushing the cam profile very much.
True, and you can make quite an economical car due to this.
Mhm.
So, exhaust, long tube, again, long tube, single exhaust, and no mufflers this time. Again, no mufflers, thankfully no mufflers. So, this was the engine, and now let's take a look at the gearbox, and that's pretty much the same to Conan.
Even if the top speed, it's
Very similar.
lower. Yeah, but it have lower. I mean, the
Spacing.
estimated top speed is higher than the maximum top speed reachable with the gearbox. I wasn't expecting to see something like that.
Yeah,
And
but
you
might have
also
found
the
it.
wheel spin. It's higher.
He might have
most
found
fact-
in testing that he couldn't reach the top speed on the tracks and opted to have better acceleration.
True.
True.
except for Monza, you don't have any chance to reach the top speeds.
Mm-hmm.
On the wheel side, we have the sport compounds.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting car. Sport compounds 10-inch, so on the quite some offset in the back.
Hmm.
But the car itself has quite some offset. Look at it.
I think it's not for road. You cannot drive this on the road with this.
Drum
Tires popping
brakes. Well, the brakes are similar to Conan.
Yeah.
Well, no, this is buggy.
Go to the overview
Golf
tab and come back.
Oh, this game. So there's a small difference. Conan went for a 0 pad, while he went
Mhm.
for a 25 pad. Well, again, these results may now differ from the old build.
There's definitely more brake fade now because pad type affects brake fade.
True. So this is not probably
Very
working.
meaningful.
So yeah, go to aerodynamic. So yeah,
Wow.
he has 14.
Quality. Yeah. A lot.
A lot of quality on.
Mm-hmm.
This helps a lot on the top speed, not the top speed, but the acceleration, top speed, and economy.
Mm-hmm.
I
So-
believe his entire plan with this vehicle was to make a car that was a high top speed and very competitive. So it doesn't surprise me plus 14 there.
Interior, and he went for the proper thing. Basic minus 15. That's how you do it. on a
The
sports
race
car.
interior.
Like hard seats, like wooden chairs, and
No safety.
no safety, no seat belts. Just
No
a
seats.
just a stripe
Nothing.
of string.
Just put the Velcro suit and then you get put on the Velcro straps in the car. That's it.
Yeah.
Stay there.
Surprisingly,
powers.
Conan's car had even better prestige than this, though.
Well, you have minus 15 in interior.
Mm-mm. Conan
I
was
think that
more
is a
comfortable.
straight 15% penalty to prestige when you have a minus 15 in here.
And Conan had aluminium panels.
True, as well.
Yeah, that's something like a 10% boost.
And now we have the suspension. And well, I see a small similarity. Camber is the same setting. Completely, but there's a difference. Ride height is higher, way higher, and the springs are softer, much softer.
And more dampers, but it's a heavier car.
True, it's a heavier car, but it's overall then, in comparison, way softer then again. And this was Kirop's car. Interesting design choice made him go into the second place. It's a horrific looking car in this color.
I'm
Something
okay
else
with
to
that
say?
color, but that might be because my parents had a car that color when I was growing up. So I grew to like it out of self-defense.
And it looks
I-
quite shocked.
There's nothing
Kilrob
wrong
just
in
really wanted a banana sundae that day.
Probably. But the rear looks quite okay, I think.
Well, you know that the classic Nopresk ivory color, so there's nothing wrong with
It's
it.
not press ivory, it's different.
It's more boring. Mine.
It's more teacher.
Because it's Nopresk, it's more boring.
So, and now it's time to look at Matt MR2, the winner. With his silver chromium car. It's quite
It
shiny.
doesn't look like for the era much fit.
Yeah, it looks a bit modern.
Square headlights are a little bit off.
But this grill,
The pill grill.
It almost looks a little Corvette from the front.
Yeah.
a bit. Maybe that was his thought, and then he got there.
Let's see one Corvette.
Which Corvette is best?
Corvette is best. Corvette.
So there's so also minus 15 body. That's the usual choice here already. Then we have like the same choice like Kirop monocoque with steel and double wishbones. This time
But
no
handmade aluminum.
true handmade element and no quality. That's interesting. No quality here. Fixtures again, no quality, and that's for the car. No weird choice. And the engine. Well, I can see the reason for the low reliability of the engine. It's quite obvious.
Wow.
Whoa.
Nah.
No
870 cc.
filtering at all.
You know, filters are only there to hold you back. I see what he's going for. You have to just let all the air in. It doesn't matter if it's got dirt in it. The engine needs to breathe. It's like an air compressor.
Well, but it cost him some blocks in the race.
Also seems that it's pushing Conrads and pistons to the limits.
To the way out of limits. Like the ref limiter is at 11
One,
ish. That's high revving.
mamma
It-
mia.
Yeah.
Cam profile 91,
Wow.
mamma mia. That
91.
is
Now-
extreme.
I really want to point out, see how his cam profile is 91, but it is called the low cam engine.
True, it's a
Oh,
low cam.
No!
This is his low cam version.
I don't want to see what high cam is.
Yeah.
I
don't
want to see what high cam is.
It's like
I-
120, probably.
Maybe he has used some hacks and went to 120 cam profile. Someone please hack that. So, fuel system. That's an interesting choice. 50.
Berlin, well, obviously you have such an high cam that even if you're going to put fuel mixture, it's going to burn your fuel like 8% efficiency. So yeah, with high revving engines, I think the best choice is to go with the lowest fuel mixture possible.
I still find the race intakes hilarious.
Yeah, I agree with
The
you.
race
So
intakes.
just to take a look, how much reliability is going to gain if he went for
Just
the
go performance. Not too much, because We have this here. We have the huge knocking
yeah.
and the huge, not the knocking, but all the internals are
Kaput.
going kaput.
Too much
Purely out
res.
of curiosity, what if we brought his rev limiter down to
Like take
9,500?
performance on 95. That's already increasing the
Reasonable.
reliability. We have a small loss of performance index. Like, we can leave it like that. I think that would be just enough.
He was still in the 95% power range above that, so it was
Oh,
perfectly
that's
fine.
interesting. Oh, no. Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is the engine. It's like horrible liabilities, but it won the race.
I have to say also that race intakes increased the economy. So
It's less. It is less energy being wasted pulling air into the engine, and
indeed.
yeah, every every joule of energy that you're using to make the engine run is a joule of engine that's not going to turn the wheels.
Exhaust system again, no surprise here. Long tubulars, none, and +1 quality.
Probably improving the headers.
Probably. Just a small improvement. Interesting. It doesn't give a lot, but it improves something. Interesting choice, interesting engine, but it suffers from liability. Sadly. But it's nice. 800cc powerhouse. And now comes the car. Again, 4-speed manual. That's no surprise, I think, already. 240 top speed, very similar to the others.
Geared it a bit above what the car theoretically can do, so that he can go faster when he's drafting.
True. So he will not over-rev his engine and will make it die in a horrible death. With smoke and explosions.
I have to say, like, because I think you have to be a little bit careful interpreting the top speed. It's really the peak power speed that is more relevant than the top speed that the engine can reach all the way at the rev limit, because you're losing power all that time as you're revving it up, and so you're not going to reach 226 kilometers an hour because you're not going to have enough power once you reach there.
Yeah.
Not unless it's a downhill and you're drafting.
No, well, if you're drafting, yes, you can. Because you have less
that's
drag.
where this car has its performance,
So you need
like
less power.
pros. The drafting. So tires are not a surprise. Semi-slicks 175.
Usual.
We have to reset this again. And now brakes. Same choice as Conan, but thanks to his lower weight, he has less of an issue.
Less brake fade compared to the others.
True. But then again,
Even if, yeah, probably doesn't matter because the old build.
brake tab is pretty much irrelevant.
I think we looked at this car as well. So if you want to look at it in the old build, I think you can find. I think one of the Jim Jeff's videos has that.
Okay,
Ooh.
I'm just looking at aerodynamic, and are you kidding me? Did
Really?
he undercool his engine?
That's what I
Yeah.
thought he did to get that top speed.
So we have an engine, a reason for your engine failure. It's right here. Boom.
Probably seizing up.
Yeah, the thing is that if the reliability, the taking care for the engine is the one you see in the engine editor, it doesn't really care, because I think if you go down of one click, it's going to give you 0 reliability.
That's
Right. The rule in the game is if
No.
your cooling airflow is less than half,
Half, yeah.
you have
it
0
will-
reliability.
Yeah. So I think it was just in the middle, and if you just no 2, yes, again 1.
That's one, and that's just the half. That's
And now
50%.
just 1 click lower, and I think we go to 0.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, do 1 click up on the brake airflow.
Yep.
Yeah. So
That
it
is how
was
close it is.
perfectly on the limit.
So that's a perfectly hack here.
Yeah.
So
Pro tip:
also,
yeah.
quality of the
it's low.
it's very low of the aerodynamics.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Now,
I wonder, will future versions of the robot have penalties to engine reliability for undercooling the engine? Because that seems like a natural sort of thing to do.
Well, these penalties are already in the game, so I don't add any additional penalties, I guess.
Well, I'm thinking like you have the overall reliability of the car, but like because you're distinguishing between engine failure and car mechanical failure in the simulation, like I imagine that the effect of the lower cooling airflow, the reason it reduces the average reliability is that it reduces the engine
Yes.
reliability installed in the car.
Yes, but the engine reliability is influenced by cooling and airflow. So if you just increase cooling airflow to what is needed, then go back to the engine tab and see how the engine reliability looks like.
18.3.
Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't change.
This
here.
was
Not
different.
changed.
This was different before.
It was different
No,
a
it was-
few
It was
builds ago.
18.3 before.
And if I put it at 0,
And it's
I
0, yeah,
think
of course.
you should have 0 also.
the car
engine.
calculates, and the engine has 18.3.
Okay, this has been changed, so I have to make changes in the future as well. So
Don't forget, this is a changed build, so changes. It can be that the old builds had this in, and this one
I
doesn't.
think so. I think so.
Maybe this is something like we have to point out before it came out from the open beta.
True. Kiro, if you're watching this, please have a look at this. We just found something.
Well, I think what I heard was that when you're looking at the engine tab, you're looking at the engine sitting on the dyno in the shop, and so it's going to give you the reliability for it has enough cooling.
It kind
Yeah.
of makes sense, of course. Yeah.
Indeed, yes, it is. It
True.
makes sense.
Well, I think it was displayed somewhere here, but then first go interior. I think that's the best choice everyone should have made. Standard -15 and basic -15.
Obviously, if you want to go
Low weight.
for low weight, yeah. If you're not interested, safety none should be probably a little bit cheaper.
Then suspension. We have
Actually, that's the funny thing. Even with this current build, if you go to none, it's going to make the car heavier and more expensive.
Even more expensive.
Oh,
Nope.
no, not in the current build.
not this time.
Okay,
This is
okay, they did fix it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember that do something about that.
now none -15 gives the same.
Gib.
Gib. That was my German leaking. Now suspension settings. We have progressive springs. Everyone used them.
Yeah, because they increase a little bit the drivability, and that's not a bad thing.
True.
You see
I'm wondering.
more aggressive camber, which was the cause for his increased tire wear.
Way more aggressive camber.
Little more stiffness, but mostly in the back, and way more hard sway bar stiffness.
True.
Yeah.
In the front. And this is Metamatu's car. There was somewhere I think
Nothing.
we learned nothing. Forget everything you saw. It's not usual. So
Not anymore.
that's all built. So you can copy some stuff off here, but forget it. 1965 will change everything.
Yeah. And also we have new builds, new stuff.
Oh,
so-
1965. Will they have this? Awesome.
Yeah, we can we can race with very fancy hydropneumatic
Well,
springs.
Look what happens on the Sportina. No, wait. It makes it worse. But it's drivable.
But it's more dry and comfortable. Look at the comfort.
This is my comfort. This is good.
More comfort.
Yeah, 96 I also have solid disc 2 pistons.
And I will tell you that if in the 1965 I probably going to try to race with an RR car. Rear engine, rear wheel drive car. I really would like to. And I'm very curious to see how it's going to perform.
You are probably very good at the start then, with all the weight on the rear
I hope
wheel.
so.
An extremely light rear engine rear wheel drive car. I was definitely considering that. I
Even
was
because
probably going to go with a front-engine front-wheel drive car, though.
even because
Front-wheel drive.
in my head, Snowpress have a long tradition of rear engine cars, so that's why I'm going
So
to
you're
try.
basically like Tatra.
Like a Tatra, yes. But I think it's going to be probably a V6.
So
Merat is already
he's already planning
building the
1965.
I think I already have built like 25 cars for each possible combinations of rules and weight and limits and so on. So
Yeah, and actually, you have to also you all people have to consider that while there are no rules, it doesn't make any sense to build a car because Martin now makes a plan, an evil plan, and everyone will be crushed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that the engineers from LHE are going to introduce probably the only ladder frame vehicle to
Oh,
enter the
seriously?
BRC.
Jesus.
Why?
Because it's going to be one of my production cars.
America. Lot of frame.
Okay, then. Well,
So, we just all need space frame. Space frame to the
True.
rescue. Oh, and while on the
Because
topic,
for what I-
wooden frames.
Yes,
Oh.
wooden frames.
Because
With,
Morgan.
And also, I heard that probably no backbone chassis will be available, and it's a little bit of pity because starting in the game having a backbone chassis could be a interesting choice, but we will see.
So, this was...
with this bombshell.
No, not bombshell yet. But this was 1955. I am looking forward to 1965 with the BRC 2.0, basically, with the Brobot 2.0.
Yes.
I think... Are there something new stuffs you're working on, or which is not known yet?
This week I was working on some side projects, such as a track editor and a proper trump card generator.
Wow.
But yeah, for the basic BRC, new features will be weather and pit stops. So damage will be repaired, tire compounds can be changed, you can set up a strategy, and yeah, there will be different compounds for different weather situations. That's probably what will be new. That's enough for the next revision.
Totally.
We first have to fix all. I have a lot of bugs with the pit stop system yet, and yeah, first have to fix this, and then I think we will start with some single races covering different eras of car building. So maybe some modern races, some old ones, some with older
Nice.
cars, and as soon as everything is at a good state, then we will start with the next season of the BRC.
Good to know.
And that will be the 1965 edition.
all right.
So, and I think it's time to end it on this bombshell.
Indeed.
Thank you guys for joining this commentating session. Was nice to have you in here.
Thanks from me to the commentators who made a very good job over the whole season. I'm very glad that I have you.
Everything is
Thank you for
possible
letting
because
me
of your
show
work. So.
Thank you all. This is fun.
Well, thank you everybody to be here because it's very nice to have more people because we usually just me and Roland. And yeah, if there is nothing else to say, we can say good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone,
Good night.
and
See you next race.
see you next time.